guys.
They saved my eyes.
On that note, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha, back in the building with a little bit of swag for this week's episode of the POWERCREEP podcast with all of my co-hosts. We got Tweaks.
What's up? What's up?
We've got, say it with me, the Crypt Man.
I'm only here because I got Levi in 2 pulls and I wanted to brag about it.
Oh, yes. Lovely. And, of course, we have Demos, the demented panda.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't know why I'm here. Oh, my goodness. You don't have Levi, bro? You didn't commit to the $320 when you jumped into paid summons?
Bro, I'm not a whale like you.
Clearly.
True.
Clearly, bro.
I am actually free to play.
I don't know, bro. Ask
Buddha's now the whale and we're free to play. What's happening?
Ask your job for a promotion. I don't know, bro.
And I just get stuff for free, so it's fine.
Many things have changed since the first
Alternate
episode of the
reality.
podcast. Wow.
Howdy, Buddha.
After this, I encourage everyone in the chat to go watch episode 1 of LC Pro Podcast and just make comparisons as you will. Oh my goodness, guys.
So far, downhill.
Yeah, the degen rate has just pew. Anyway, we have an update, guys, that entered the building this morning. Attack on Titan Part 2. And really, it's just the Levi update. I think that's all it is. And my God, I don't think I have ever seen a more anticipated character jump into the game, at least as far as I've been playing it. Roy did not have the hype that this man carries alone.
Okay,
I
fair. I guess I'm not really paying attention to who was hype about what anymore, so you're probably right.
I don't know. The hype was pretty high for Levi, to be fair, during the whole collab. As soon as everyone heard Attack on Titan, they're like, Levi, so.
I'm talking from simply a fan base. I'm not talking about looking at their kits and knowing which one's going to be better. I'm talking about who eyes have never been on LC like they have during this collab, in my opinion.
Wait, I can contest that. The most anticipated character was actually Virgil. Sorry.
Hey, you got me there. And yet, still, people are waiting for him. So.
Yeah.
You know, actually, Crypt, I would rebuttal that. I think the most anticipated character ever was Tsukasa.
Really? Oh, that's a nice joke.
I think he was the least anticipated character. Surprise!
Oh yeah, that's a funny joke. I'm glad I didn't play back then, because I probably wouldn't be playing today. Anyway, guys, this was fun.
Wow.
I'm glad we have the gang together.
It's a reunion.
It's a reunion.
Let me ask you. What are your
Talk to me.
thoughts on how were you excited for Levi?
Oh, as an Attack on Titan fan.
Yes. Coming from the Attack on Titan fan base, what's your take? 'Cause I'm not
Absolutely.
really an Attack on Titan huge fan. I don't think you guys are either.
I
Big
watched
into it.
a season of it
Exactly.
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
As a pretty basic anime fan, right? Attack on Titan usually rates pretty highly on your average anime viewer, like people like myself. And so Levi is definitely amongst my top 10 most badass iconic characters from an anime that I've watched. And so yes, I mean, just himself in a game, I get to play as him and see what he can do, was very hype for me. Absolutely.
Hey, by the way, people in your chat are saying we are all very low volume-wise.
Oh
It's all Buddha's fault.
my God.
He wants you to get really, really close to the
Well,
speakers.
here's the thing, guys. I'm the star of the show. And so
None of us matter. Not wrong.
I am
None
taking
of the
over the
points matter.
podcast. The volume should be back under control. I hope that didn't just completely drown out everything. I don't think it did, just because I have made this mistake many times, so I know exactly how it sounds at the decibel lower. That's not a word that it was at. But we're back. We're back to normal now, everybody. Go
It
ahead.
can be a word for you, Buddha.
I shall let the peons speak now.
Yes. All right. Well, now that should be fixed. Well, coming from someone who doesn't, I mean, I watched here and there. You know, I used to watch Attack on Titan when it like was coming out, right? Like first season, watching it like every week it came out pretty much, and I just like I got bored of it, and that's coming from like just someone who doesn't like who likes action and was like, kinda, yeah. And they were just pulling out like different. It just never like
Bridged is really funny. I'll give it that.
it never like gripped me as hard as other people to like stick with it, right? So I eventually stopped watching it for a while, then tuned into like season 2 and like tried to binge it a little bit, and I just like I never got
Come on,
back
bro.
into it.
You're
So
not super curious about what's in the basement?
no, I already know what's in the basement. You know, I read spoilers and stuff. I'm just like, just tell me what's going on.
I will say it was, well, maybe does it matter anymore? If about spoilers, I guess it kind of does.
I mean, it probably does.
Well, I don't think it's a spoiler. Just to say, like personally, I was very disappointed in what was in the basement. Personally,
Okay. Well,
but a lot of people, I think, are fine with it.
In reference to Last Cloudia, though, the battle system that I know from Attack on Titan was obviously very hyped to be coming here because we figured, hey, there's some sweet animation, some sick battle movement that they can possibly align with, you know, LC's gameplay and mechanics. And I think they did that.
Speedy Zoom boy.
Hell yeah. And I think they captured that really well with both Eren and Mikasa, and especially Levi.
Absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely.
More like who Casa, am I right?
And that is one thing I will say about pretty much almost every collab, right? Let's not talk about slime. But almost every collab, they've done a great job at, you know, applying units and mechanics to the game that still iterate from the, you know, the anime or game itself, which is kind of sweet. And I think they knocked it out of the park with Attack on Titan.
I agree.
So, Levi.
The
Levi update. Levi dot.
The Levi
podcast. He's ready.
I know yours
You guys
is ready.
want to look at? I mean, how do you fit? You used him all day,
Me?
or at least part of the day.
Not really. You know how it is when you get a unit and you're
Bro, come on, man.
just.
I need you maxing him out in 45
We're
minutes
killing
like
him.
we did.
Believe me, I know.
Who we?
Myself and others, not you guys, because you definitely did not crypt.
Right.
I just got him to level 100 using potions. Let's go.
You're killing it.
You're further than me. Yeah, no. This is the first time that I've had 3 units to max out within a 2-week span. So this was a new experience for me.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
How's that coming up for air every once in a while
Mm-hmm.
from the sea?
Yeah,
Very
no.
nice.
I kind of like. I don't like getting every character. My pace is much slower, personally. So this is
overwhelmed
you know,
there,
I
so
like
I'll
dip my toe in. I dip my toe in. The water's hot. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it up. So
It's a lot of work to max out some characters, especially like the preparation for it. If you feel like being prepared for it, it is a lot of grinding, and I think, yeah, it just is. But yeah, you want to get into Levi? You want to talk about him?
I'm super down. I think the chat's down. I think we're down.
Oh, main squad, they're Tower, nice. Yeah, Levi. Of course, he was the most anticipated unit coming into this collab. As soon as we found out what the 3 units were, Levi. Everyone's in chat was like Levi. Last week, everyone was like, "Should I pull from Mikasa? Should I pull from Mikasa?" We're like, "No, just save for Levi. Just please, for God,
Yeah.
make the decision at the end."
And like they act like they have to make the decision right on the spot, right? It's like, dude, you got literally weeks of time to like ruminate on this,
right? Like there's no rush. And I think people who waited rejoice a little bit because he is absolutely disgusting. And definitely I would say the best physical DPS that we've had in a while. Probably the best physical DPS we've had since Ardeen. Which was 2 weeks ago. So,
a while.
3 weeks, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that's the joke because like Ardeen's still a super good unit, so like him coming, 3 weeks after him, kind of sweet that we've had a couple right in a row that are very, very useful for end game stuff.
Yeah, Ardeen's he's a little less traditional. I think Levi kind of, he hits all of the marks, at least for me, and I assume for you guys, since y'all are who I learned from.
Right.
In terms of, real quick, nice, big, bursty S3. Our Dean is a bit different. He doesn't fit quite the same mold that we've looked for, but he's still so refreshing, so good. So for me, it's nice because while they're both physical DPS dual wielders, they feel different enough for me to where I'm like, yes, 2 thumbs up.
Dean's S2 is so goofy.
It's
the first
so
time I used
godly.
it, I was like, wait, what just happened?
It's just
It just
godly.
kills
So
everything
good.
on the left side of the screen. I'm like, whoa, bro.
Yeah, it's still
is
my
very
favorite
good.
skill at the moment.
Um,
But back to the main man.
but yeah, just the same with Levi, with all the others. You're going to be able to grind him up super quickly from the event. So make sure everyone does that and gets those souls, get from the 3x tickets from the S ranks from the Titan, convert those to all the massive amounts of souls you can get and get him leveled up pretty quickly, because you do not want to pass up on that. That's something that is super vital, especially for collabs like this. I mean, we didn't really have it for the TOM collab was pretty bad at soul farming. That was the first one we've had in a while that was pretty bad. Nier and FMA were really, really good at soul farming, even Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone took a really long time, but it was like very brain dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Easy to do.
Yep.
So was Slime.
Yeah. Slime was?
Slime was brain dead as hell.
But it wasn't a good soul grind.
Oh, yeah, we did that. Oh,
Yeah. No, it was horrible.
Yeah, that
It was
one
all
was the
manual,
worst.
and it was just, it was the
Oh.
worst. I mean, it was amazing if you did it, but it was the worst.
Fair enough.
Speaking of amazing if you do it, did they add new rewards this week in the
Yeah.
event?
Oh yeah,
Shops
They
and
did.
stuff? I haven't looked at them yet.
They didn't refresh the really shops, but they refreshed.
yeah,
or they
that
added
made me pretty
win rewards.
sad.
Um,
Sad boy.
I know you're up for that.
I was banking on that.
I know. But Levi, I mean, he's similar to Aaron and Mikasa, where he has all 3 of his skills are the, gap closer, lunge type stuff. In which case, when he has gas buffs, he gets like plus 30 movement speed and just zips towards the enemy. And it's pretty amazing. Honestly, I hope. I mean, I'm glad that they use these. They have that mechanic for them, but I realize now that they could have been actually disgustingly broken if they hadn't probably tempered them down a little bit. I think they easily could have made them just disgusting units.
But
And they still
could he beat
are.
Mont Blanc in a foot race.
With pretty much like plus 30 movement speed. I think so. I think they're fast. I think they're faster than Mont Blanc.
He's finally
when,
here.
when their gas buff is active. When gas
He's
buff is
finally
active.
got a unit that's faster than Mont Blanc. Rejoice.
Like
Didn't they nerf him? So he's like way slower than we remember.
Really?
what? Mont Blanc?
Yeah,
No, he's still fast as shit.
as he was like back
Yes.
in the day.
Yes.
Oh man,
He's probably got. Like
Our units just gradually got a lot faster. He may
that
look
makes
slower.
sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, so as people saw in the showcase and as people saw listed in like the summary stuff that we have in Discord, he has 3 skills. S1 being, what did I say? 7 hits. Did I say 7 hits or 9 hits? I don't remember. 9 hits. Skill 2 is 12 hits, and skill 3 is 18 hits, all single wield. So 36 hits dual wield S3. And if anyone has seen and used him already, his S3 is kind of filthy.
It's so fast.
The activation, the bird that it goes, it's kind of one of the most impressive skills we've seen in a long time. It reminds me a little bit of Nero's S3. Just from and that's very good, right? Because like that's just a lot of damage pumped out in a very short amount of time. It's actually really funny because it like after using it so much today, he can just like it looks almost like a spinning top.
He's a
right?
Beyblade, bro.
He's a Beyblade.
He's
You're right.
a
It looks like a
Beyblade.
spinning leaf or top that's just like falling to the ground, and he's just rampaging against the enemy that hits. Yeah, it's a lot
Very
of fun.
satisfying.
And not to mention his special, dude.
Oh my
His
god.
special is one of the best. First of all, one of my favorite specials in the game because one, it is not like a CGI thing from a collab. It's set in such a scenario that it puts all of the enemies in like the middle of a bunch of trees, and he's zipping around, popping off trees, slashing and dicing. It's one of the coolest ults that I've seen in this entire game. It's definitely one of my favorites. So, and not only that, it's AoE and does 68 hits with true dual wield,
baby.
Which, depending on your caps, it's pretty disgusting how much damage you can do with this ult. So,
Oh yeah.
extremely good physical DPS with gap closers and essentially warps with plus 30 movement speed. And then his S4, his special, is just a disgusting AoE attack. One of the best skill and special kits that we've seen in a very long time.
I highly encourage you guys to go check out Tweak's showcase of him taking on the newest event stage right now. That is one of the most satisfying displays of a unit's burst potential I've ever seen in my life. So
Yeah, 3 skills and 1 special. Just
Boo.
yeah. Yeah. It's pretty nasty.
Good
But
time.
let's move on to his trades, because as important as his skills are, and I think here's the thing, what makes a unit different in the mechanics of them can either be from how their skills work, from how their traits work, or like unique passives that they have. The way his skills work and his special are what make him very, very top tier. Even if he didn't have how good these traits were, he'd still be disgusting. But they do have some additive bonuses to him, like just from trait 1, Ultimate Warrior for Mankind, 30% physical damage cap plus 5,000, just straight off the bat. No big deal. No, it's always active. When physically attacking, cut enemy defense minus 20% and deal damage. This means he just cuts 20% defense stat off the enemy when he's doing damage. Always active. Sure. Halves chance of losing the effect of the skill Snapblade. If you know from Lake's Goldmine, he has a 1.1% chance of losing Snapblade. This now drops down for him, as opposed to Aaron and Mikasa, as 0.55%, which essentially makes it, he will snap the blade. It's just a lot less often.
Was that per hit? I think you said per hit, right?
Per hit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's always per hit.
So 5.5 per hit, okay. Or 0.55 per hit, okay.
Yeah, 0.55.
Cool.
His trait 2, rare ability. Just give him 3 more gas buffs than normal. Instead of the 5 from the ODM gear that we've had on the other units, he gets 3 more for 8, which just increases his zippiness even more. And for an extended period of time, 60% more is a lot. And then when physically rear-attacking, damage plus 40%, damage cut plus 5,000. Which I do think is an interesting mechanic for him, attacking from behind, because as we'll see with his skills, and explain a little bit when we go test him out in battle, he's like one of those units where 2 of his skills, like, you can't actually make him hit all attacks or all hits of the attack from behind. So,
it's a trend with all of them. All of these Attack on Titan units do that. They reposition.
You know what's funny? Because they reposition, but they kind of, him and Mikasa especially, like for their S3s, they kind of like encircle the enemy and flip from side to side. So
it's very thematic.
Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't allow you to, like we're used to make all of your attacks from behind to get that massive damage boost. So you'll just have to, deal with whatever's happening. Even on unflinchable or unflinchable bosses, you can't actually, like, force your units to hit all from behind. Which I don't mind at all. It actually is. He and the other ones have such good damage multipliers that, like, you don't really need to be honest.
He doesn't have the one that makes front hits into back hits, right? Like, he doesn't have the Zyx straight for that.
No.
That would have been insane. But like, don't think of it like it's forcing you to miss out on some of your back hits. Think of it as it's guaranteeing at least half of them are from behind. Like, for lazy people, for people like me who don't like to reposition,
exactly.
Perfect.
Yep.
Love it.
And that's when I was talking about in chat earlier, like, especially in places like PvP, where maybe you don't always have the time to reposition. At least at some point you're hitting an enemy, and at least multiple hits of that attack will hit from behind and get that massive extra damage boost.
Can you explain to me what repositioning in PvP is? I use Roy.
Oh, good God.
If I have to move from where I started, I screwed up somewhere along the way.
Maybe it was a mistake asking Crypt to come back.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's get into his actual skills. Because, I mean, as people have seen in his skill tree, he does get a lot of SE saves. And I think of note, if you guys want to chime in, of what he's actually missing. Because it's a good bit compared to, like, the normal, fleshed out kit that we get. His kit is based pretty much all damage. Get attack at max, fighting spirit 5. What he's missing in between those, what we normally have here, is maybe some crits, maybe a proud force in there, which we're missing. Illusion's cool, sure. He gets Human Slayer innate, which is disgusting for
so good.
PvP, of course,
So good.
especially for some PvE maps, but not too many.
Tower Trials.
Special boost free is beautiful. Just getting that free and equipping any other Slayer you want at any given time to get that 100% max damage boost. Auto Brave and Auto Protection. I think these are great to have. And again, what he's missing here are things like Auto Crit, Auto Haste. Those are pretty much the other two that most current physical DPS have in their kit. So that's kind of notable. He does get Awaken, which is kind of a nice little defensive buff whenever he's low HP. Nice little heal. And again, what he's missing around here. Things like Pride, things like Ardor, maybe Dusk. But Dusk isn't really that kit. But kind of like max HP stuff that he just does not have. And then, we're looking into the Earth Drive. So Earth High Drive, Earth Mega Drive, sweet. No Earth Base Drive. I don't even think we have that available yet on ARCs, to be honest. But no Earth Attack Raises. Not Earth Attack Raises 1, 2, or 3 to give extra cap. Just nothing there. What we're missing next is no poses. No pose of glory, no pose of honor, no pose of victory. But yes, he does get Ale of Glory, sure. He does get surprise attack. He doesn't have Sky High, no surprise attack, no Pirate's Feast. As you can see, I'm listing a lot of things that you and I assume all four of us use a lot in a lot of our builds.
Yeah, it's definitely
just a lot of stuff you'll have to add. You'll have to give him. And what I was thinking before is that out of the two units that we've had, banner units, who has the more complete kit? I think Mikasa does have a very new player friendly kit. And I do think Levi hits harder, but he's just takes a little bit more effort to, sustain him throughout your adventures.
Yeah, a lot of those skills I think many of us have taken for granted at this point because of how much they're usually included in base kits. And it's interesting. I'm glad you're pointing it out, because for me it's something that I just kind of gloss over that stuff because I'm so used to being able to throw skills on them immediately upon getting them.
Right.
But for new players, it's a very good point. What he's missing. So.
And you know what? It's not that big of a deal. You can, a lot of those skills like Proud Force and Pose of Glory and stuff, you can find them pretty early on arcs. But it's just stuff that you might not have.
Right. I think kind of thinking about it, it's almost like he's flipped. Where usually with these PDPS come with those kinds of skills, and then you stack all the damage mods. Levi has all the damage mods. Not all of them. You still need a couple, but he
quite
has
a bit, yeah.
75% of what you usually are adding to these characters, rather than looking to add.
And as endgame players, we have no issues filling that out. But
right.
Yeah. Blessed Speed is something that we like to see on physical DPS units, of course. +2 speeds, just innate. Armor Piercer. This is similar to, or this is the only other place it's found is on Yashimaru. It's not teachable yet. This is a 35% chance on any physical hit to have that hit negate 30% of the defense. So that's cool, of course. Shockwave 2 is a 7% chance to nullify the enemy guard on every hit. True dual wield. This is the big boy. This is essentially dual wield on physical hits, doubles your physical hits, and doubles your special hits, which is we've only ever seen this on Shift Alice. So yeah, it's pretty sick that we have another unit that has it. And being true dual wield, his special now does get from 34 goes to 68 hits. Big time.
Nutty.
Big time special. Especially being AoE. I like it a lot. And notably here, he has sword mega boost, but he doesn't have sword high boost, no sword boost. This is the only thing in his kit that is weapon type related. Yeah. No snap blades, no nothing. None of that is actually sword specific, except for sword mega boost. He can literally do anything he wants. with any. I mean, as long as you get him the necessary equips. And if you really want to don't use a sword, you don't have to. This is the only thing that you get. Of course, you do lose out on a free 30% damage and 2,000 damage cap, but you can do that.
By the necessary equips, you mean Trishula.
If you
I mean,
want.
sure.
He
I don't
can
really
do
even.
anything.
Trishula has like just
I don't know. I don't really use
downtrended in
I'm
its
just saying
necessity.
to make him useful.
Yeah,
everywhere.
everywhere, sure. Yeah, if you wanted to use him, sure.
If you want to use him as like your sole unit, there are very few things you couldn't do that way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I know what you're saying, because there have been a lot of like gear enhancements lately where it's like either they're just not a good unit for it, so you use somebody who doesn't need it, or there's gear that even though it doesn't do that is better.
Yeah.
It's like Buddha says, Trishula is becoming less and less important, and that's great because Trishula was a very poor design decision.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were crushed by it. Yeah, absolutely.
Such a bad choice.
With so many ways nowadays to drop element or attribute resistance, and with so many weapons that provide such a big physical damage boost in order to offset that elemental resist. Yeah, I think it's a great move to have that as not as much as a priority as nowadays. Of course, it's a quality of life thing. Like as a new player, Trishula is like actually invaluable.
Yep, for sure.
But as an endgame player, like you have ways around it, of course. Notably here between Sword Mega Boost and Quick Trigger, obviously no other weapon boosts, but we also don't have any skill charges, no stock skills, no ultimate boosts. And that's what would be in between those. So missing a lot of other stuff. Of course, Quick Trigger is really nice to have. One free skill stock at the beginning of each wave. Dope. Sharp Eyes and 8. Love to see it. Big fan of that. Combo Master 2, very nice. Added Combo Master 1 if you feel like it, although that's all obvious on a UR. Giant Killing 2 is nice to have. I would have been interested to see Berserker here. I think that would have been cool to put in as kit innate, but of course that's
sense.
What about like Berserker 2? Like that would have been sick.
Oh my
but
God.
God.
Give me that over Giant Killing too. But that makes sense too.
No.
you know what I mean. But yeah.
See, Berserker would make
Giant
total
Killing 2
sense,
makes
right? Because you're not supposed to be using him at max HP. You've got the bonuses when he is not sitting at max HP, so it's pretty synergistic.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll talk about that because I do think still max HP is probably his best build.
Heck yeah.
But yeah,
Give me those boosts
Yeah, but what do you
all the time.
What do you know?
I know
Who do
nothing.
you
I
think
have
you
I have no CV. Don't trust anything I say.
Exactly.
Death God. Of course. This is 2% insta kill on non-boss enemies on non-boss waves. 1 regular attacks, 2% on regular attacks, 0.1% on skill attack hits. So use it as you see fit. Then Snap Blades, Change Braids, Scout Regiment, and ODM Gear is something we've seen on all the other units. Of course, Snap Blade gets the big buff and he has a 0.55% chance of breaking. And then you'll change blades after 10 seconds of breaking. You can get it back. Scout Regiment, sweet. And now that we have 3 units that you can get on one single account to use, you can get that max 18% physical damage boost to bosses. If you use a support with this on it, you can also get 24% max. ODM gear, this is what we talked about before, the literally just zoom movement speed. 8 gas buffs instead of 5 for him. So yeah, more zoomies than anybody.
So yummy.
The zoomiest boy.
And then Neat Nick. Neat Nick is actually something that is new to. This is a new type of skill that we haven't seen before, where we have when your unit is at max HP, you get Pride, Strength plus 20%, or Moonlight, Intelligence plus 20%. This is kind of the complement to that. When not at max HP, so when less than 100%, he gets a Strength and Defense plus 20% boost. And while this is, people would be like, you don't need to keep max HP. Unfortunately, I actually do think this is very important to keep him max HP because most of the time, if you keep him max HP, Pride will be active.
Mm-hmm.
But at any other given time, you'll have the Strength plus 20% anyways from Neat Nick. So you might as well 100% of the time have that Strength boost. Not only that, as soon as he gets any type of damage, his defense jacks up 20%.
Preach. So,
yeah, at 100%, you don't need it to mitigate damage. But at any point below that, he gets another 20% defense. So why not? I suggest keeping him at 100% HP as often as you can, and not hard pressing to keep him below that because it's just one passive is not going to make a huge difference. Erwin's plan. I actually find this very interesting. I am sad. So. It does say battle start at a physical attack damage plus 25% buff and inflict a physical attack damage taken plus 10% buff on all allies. So these are generic icons, unfortunately. The physical attack damage buff is the generic icon, same as Tinkyli's physical buff icon, same as the Council of 10 AER's physical buff icon. So yes, while this will override and give you 25% buff, if you have one of those units or you're using something that gives you a physical damage buff, like I think it's the Pirate's Flag, I think we have that also. That's also the same buff. Like, you don't have to use this. You're not forced to use this. You can turn this off. If it's only giving you a plus 5% damage buff over the other ways to do it, but instead giving you a 10% damage taken buff, you don't have to leave this on. Of course, I'm gonna leave it on because you know, I think it's actually lore relevant and I think it's kind of cool. But smart people will probably take this off if you have another way of boosting that damage.
Are you insinuating you're not smart?
Correct.
Why would we ever listen to anything you say if you're not smart?
Exactly. Listen, now you're catching on. All
Okay,
right.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So what we talked about before, what were added? I think crits and Proud Force are honestly just necessary. And if anyone has seen my actual the pre-release build, I actually think that was like spot on to a very good build on him.
Very good video.
Using of course Damos called you out for Fast Matisse and Dusk on him without using Sharp Eyes. And you
so good.
throwing Fast Forward on him. So let's talk about this. So what happens at the beginning of battles if you have Fast Forward, Dusk, and Neat Nick on him? At any given time, below 100% HP, he's gonna have plus 60% defense. Not only that, at any given time he's gonna have plus 40% mind from Dusk and Fast Matisse. Like 700, 800 or HP Proud Force procs, a huge amount of defense mitigation or damage mitigation, like crazy sustainability for himself. And I think Buddha, you probably have seen the like Solo versus Titan, him tanking the alts. Like I did not expect him to be able to do that, but he did.
Yeah.
And of course that took a little bit more defensive skills, and I put him some defense ups and stuff. But he's capping damage. I know he has Human Slayer against the Soldier, against the Colossal Titan, but dude,
Gross.
he can be built. He's like one of these units where he can be built to get max damage and still be have all those tanky builds or tanky passives in his kit, which is kind of sick.
Definitely is.
And like we talked about Pride, keeping max HP if you can. Weak point boost, I think, is great on him if you're fighting an Earth weak enemy. Pirate's Feast is something I've hopefully have been harping enough, and I think you have been as well. Mm-hmm. This is probably one of the MVP goated skills in the entire game if you're fighting wave battles.
So good.
It's like an instant honey elixir without using the MP at the beginning of every wave. Like, why would you not? For 9 SC, stupid high value. Surprise Attack backstab, of course, add on him. Lean heavily into his backstabs because that's where you're going to get a lot of damage, especially in things like PvP. Sword boost and sword high boost, spear high boost because I'm using a spear on him, whatever. Purple orb I have because I'm cool like that.
Ruffia on him or whatever Ruffia.
Rafaria, yeah, I was just because there's I could have used you can use Mermoss and stuff. I just wanted a different weapon boost on him, and there's really not that much else in the game that have just straight up earth damage. I didn't want to pull anything off of anyone else. Quick trigger, nothing here. Column Master, if you want to jump in. Berserker, like we talked about, you can absolutely use. I think his Proud Force heals with Fast Matisse and Dusk heavily outweigh the HP drop here. And high speed shock if you got it. If you're around for near 3 more movement speed, hell yeah. But yeah, his kit is awesome for damaging. It's just a little bit incomplete, and I think it needs a couple touches to where you're gonna fill it out. So he's like an extremely good and
a god,
a full unit, a full kit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Equip time. You want to talk about his equips?
Oh yeah. Let's
hear the
LC's
first
milking
Buddha
some
paid
wallets
equip.
with the latest
Fucking-
equips we're seeing.
Tell me about it. This is weird that he knows more about the paid equips than I do now.
I don't even think that's
Bizarre world.
Listen, I think we had some incredible clips with Ardeen. And I don't think Mikasa's and his are necessarily. I think Mikasa's scarf is probably one of the better clips we've seen in a long time. But I don't think either of these are like that crazy. And we'll have to find out the percentage chance of Levi's Cloudia. I don't hate it. I just don't think it's like nutty.
What?
Okay.
You also have
Prove me
no
wrong.
need for haste.
I mean, I don't.
You have no need for haste, Tweaks.
Sure, but like even then, it's only one stack of plus 25% SCT regeneration.
All I'm saying.
And it
it's
does cost 14
SC, bro.
Yeah, but there's a reason they didn't give it in his kit, dude.
Yeah,
They
so you
could
pay for it.
absolutely could have. Exactly.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're milking people.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, anyways,
Like,
Levi's blade.
Both of his equips are what, 20 SE or so?
The biggest part about I think, his paid weapon, right? We don't really have many good sword options, especially earth weapons in the game. Earth sword, that's it. The free sword in this, like that's literally it. So, yeah, if you want an earth sword and you want him to do, capture his sword mega boost, yeah, you're gonna have to pay for this, unfortunately. I know we have another earth sword, but that's S shift a little bit's unique, so we can't actually use that either. Yeah, sad.
He
But
could
I
use
mean,
machines innate, so you have the fourth line bow.
yeah,
you have that.
yes, and we can go look at the other earth equips, but like this one is just, it does feel bad a little bit. These both equips do feel a little pressured into getting them, because they do fill holes in his otherwise Swiss cheese kit. Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me when it's like kind of like forced upon it, right? As to the cloak, while I was originally shitting on it a little bit, everyone else seems to think that this is very good.
I'm not arguing that haste is a broken ability. I'm just arguing that it's a pretty, like you said, it's been pretty innate in a lot of kits. For new players, it's absolutely impactful when you're physical DPS and you're having trouble with your skill charging and without Pose of Glory, right? So the fact that, and the kicker is that it's just 14 SC. Just thinking about it from a raw SC cost save, if you want that benefit of haste, it's expensive. It's expensive.
It cost you.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
definitely not needed. I'm not saying this is needed. I'm just saying they threw some big SC saves on it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
They did that with Mikasa's a little bit too, but her kit and her paids just filled her out much better.
I agree. Yeah, like having Awaken on an equip is a lot more useful than Haste on an equip.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing. I mean, we can go over the alternative weapons. Let me see what else I have.
There's plenty.
There are plenty to use, and I know I have a bunch in here. So why don't I just pull those up?
The only paid weapons, like you were saying, to this day I would ever consider being close to essential are Ardenes. And Mikasa's accessory.
Yeah, those are some things that you'll probably just like never take off, honestly, of him.
Yeah, I haven't.
They're very, very useful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me neither.
Let me tell you a story of a little paid weapon called
Lafine. Yeah.
Yep.
But even then,
all right. Well,
let's now it's not as important.
Correct. Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
Back in the day.
Give me Lafine on any unit that comes out. Like the next unit.
For sure.
That's just never coming off.
Give me Lafine on Mikasa, please.
I'm saying it's not as useful because Balin is just not as useful as he used to be overall.
Right. But the effect,
the weapon itself is still the best one in the game.
Dumb broken.
Could you imagine something like that on Levi with his 110 hits and 3 attacks?
I'd rather imagine it on Loug Zeus.
Smash.
Got it. Yeah. Well, so we have other options, all right, for weapons. There's not many earth sword boost weapons, but we do have some other options. So Hello Spirit Refaria is from Godforge, where you use the Spear Refia. I believe it's from what's that arc called? What's the one of the SS arcs? You remember? Regardless, this is a great option.
Pretty sure it's fun.
Great option. But I'm gonna go to just Earth, additional attribute Earth. And we're going to look at what we got. We got the Gaia's Godhammer, which is very good.
Yeah, it's totally... Because that's the spear that came out with Medine, right?
Guys, God Hammer though. Yes. We have another God Forge here. Hammers. We also have, no physical damage boost here, unfortunately, but we do have high strength. This bow right here is the AER from the Star-Lord bow, from the Star-Lord arc, and it has critical rate plus 10% when you're using Earth skills, so not bad. And then we don't have that many. A bunch of the, like Broken Gate Levantis, sure, that's AER, but 14 bow, I believe was an event item. Hawk Clovers from an SR or R, one of those two. Brigatsu, Pine Trident, Maiden Leaf, and Levi Summary are all event items. So there's really not that many Earth equips if you're going to look for Goddess Kiss procs and use those on everything else. Yeah, Final Oath, that's what it is. As for equips, I mean, he's a standard physical DPS. Use it if you need it. If you, whatever equips you are using, of course on Health Sovereigns are going to your extra cap, but anything we just got a couple different, I think I favorited it actually. Mithril Leaf is great, which we always suggest. ODM gear is great from the first AER from the arc. Desert Rose we just got for the Ardeen has Earth attribute damage, sick. That's physical and special if you felt like it. Eternal Tree is one thing I did shout out. This is one from the St. Maurice arc. 5% earth attack damage, and this has a 20% chance to recover the 1% damage as HP, which means if you're hitting for 30,000 damage, it has a 20% chance on each of those hits to regain 300 HP. So it's something. Phantom Tower Key, Mithril Leaf we had mentioned. I do think this is from this event, right? Look at the outside world. At max MP, defense mine plus 8%. This is like a mini Dusk, and it does stack. This is what I was using on him in, I think, my solo Titan kill. But yeah, defense in mind up, gets better Proud Force. This alone jumps your Proud Force procs from 700 to 800, as well as gives you some more defense. So I really like this equip on him. But then you're looking at your the other standard ones and lower tier ones. But yeah, some worthy honorable mentions there. Yeah. He's a sick unit. I think DPS wise, he's going to be one of the top in the game that we were talking about before in our chat about who was the top and who is top. And of course, I mean, people are not wrong. He does compete for the top. Like he will be competing against the likes of single target damage like Ardeen, like Loug Zeus, like Ed, like 2B, like units that have extremely high physical DPS damage per second. Like he's pretty wild, especially if you can get stocks on his S3.
I mean, he's like number 5 on your list, so he's sounds like a scrub.
Well,
to me.
I mean, literally no one can beat regular attack X bet right now.
I know, it's crazy.
It's not even close.
It's really not.
But yeah, he's up there. But that's what I mean. Like, even having him in the names of Loug Zeus and Ardeen.
Yes.
Like,
they are legendary.
His single target damage is super nasty.
I don't need any more from him, bro. I'm perfectly happy with this dude.
Exactly.
He meets expectations. He's as hype for me as a fanboy as he is as good in the game that he is. So I'm good.
He's missing about 5,000 cap.
They could have given him like triple wield and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Go on, Panda and Crypt, get it all out. Go. Just
no, that's it.
His mid-range attacks should be wide range. Just saying.
Keep going. Yeah.
He also should have had auto crate for free. Just saying.
Auto haste for free.
Really? He gets auto haste.
What I kind of want to do right now is kind of show you like how his skills work, right? Because we talked about how they don't always hit back attacks, and I think I just want to make it glaringly obvious as to when they do or when they don't, because they.
I mean, you can tell. You can watch the damage caps.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna go do that.
Okay.
Like
cool.
it's.
I think it's weird that his S3 gets back hits on the Colossal Titan. Please explain.
Yeah, they gave the Colossal Titan a back somehow.
Did they?
They did.
They did give him a back.
Despite
you just can't tell where it is.
You can't trust your eyes, Crypt.
Right.
It's not
clearly
logic.
his movement is putting him into the background, and I'm just not.
You're not
Correct.
seeing it.
Exactly. See, now you're finding you're getting it right.
Now I'm suspending my
attention,
disbelief appropriately.
I'm dead.
Oh
All right.
my God.
All right, where is it? How many repels we got? Guys, you know what I'm super happy about? We got 9 repels yesterday.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I woke up at 7, and I was like, I have time and I have orbs. I'm gonna push it to 8, and I did. And I was like, I gotta go to work. And then apparently you guys did it in like the
It was a
4
good amount
hours
of repels.
afterwards.
Yeah, I mean they gave us a ton of refresh orbs, so I think a lot of people did use that, and they were turning up at Levi's to get tickets and stuff. So yeah, that was helpful for sure. Because yesterday was a bit of a struggle most of the day, especially with being out for 2 hours on maintenance. Yeah. Well, why don't we just jump in here and show you his skills real quick? Because what you're going to notice here is you're going to notice a bunch of different damage numbers. Of course, I'm pretty sure he'll be capping, but on his S3 especially, we're going to be seeing a bunch of different. Back up Titan is the right side. No, 0. Here's the thing. With the Titan, he actually has a back. It just depends what unit he's looking at, and you can't tell which one it is. So if I stick, so the first 2 spots, if you have an Allure tank in the first 2 spots, he'll be looking left most likely. If you have an Allure tank in the 2 right spots, he'll most likely be looking right. So that's why in a lot of my other videos I use Gorm in spot 3, so he'd be looking right, and I would get all back attacks from the left. So he does have a back, you just can't exactly tell. So, but what's going to happen here is that I'm going to be hitting. He's going to be looking at me technically.
It would have been.
So,
It would have been great if his eyes actually moved, depending on who he was
I
looking.
love the slow zoom in on his face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just wanna know-
Are you serious? Kind of face him.
Why
Like
should
this?
we should trust Tweaks when he just said that he's stupid and we shouldn't trust him? Like, how can we believe anything he
Damn,
just
bro.
said?
Tweaks.
damn bro. All right. Well, anyways,
No, JK. Go ahead.
here we go on his S3. What you're going to notice is nothing actually.
Big fat damage caps
All right.
is what
So
I
what you
noticed.
can't tell there, unfortunately,
Yeah, there's 33
because all the numbers look the same. There are 33,899 caps, and there are also 38,899 caps, which look oddly familiar, awfully the same.
Mm-hmm. And this is Levi's alone, by the way, everyone. There's no support
Okay,
units.
so those are the 33s, all right? So I'm on auto, whatever. Whoops. Rip. But you're going to look at his S3 again, and we'll do this. And you'll see, try to look for the 38,000, because those are the back attacks, but you're also going to see 33,000. Yep. And
I'm
now
seeing.
his blade broke. His blade broke.
His
bro.
blade
What do you
broke.
want
I think it went from 30. It was 30, and then it jumped up to 30. No, it didn't. I'm lying. Doesn't
to do?
even
No,
make sense
It's 25
mathematically.
and 30 now. See, so his S2 is only hitting 25s, but his S... Now, these are much more noticeable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to be hitting me to the left, whatever. Whatever, dude. Rude.
Rawr, smash.
You're already at like
Just-
15 seconds.
yeah.
Why are you so slow?
Dang, bro. Can you get the 30? Okay.
I got my snap blades back. 33,899.
That was a very casual 30-second clear with Levi. I wonder why they did that. Mikasa's not dealing damage that quick. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Nope. But yeah, I was just trying to point out the the mechanics behind his S1 works the same way as his S3. It'll be jumping around, hitting left and right depending on where he's at in his animation. Because if you don't know, and if people don't know, what discerns a back attack isn't where the damage is dealt; it's where the body of your unit is dealt relative to the way the enemy is facing.
Yep.
Isn't it great?
So if the body of Levi is on the right side of the back of where we just were, that'll happen to 38,000 hit is what we just saw. But if his body is on the left of the center of the unit, which he's looking left, it'll be a front attack. And for his S3 and his S1 both, they kind of encircle the enemy and do hits around it. So basically what it is, like 50% of his hits are back, 50% of hits are front, pretty much. That's kind of what it comes down to.
It's much more obvious when you watch him do his S3 on a small target in the battle map, because you can literally watch
you can
him
tell
just
what the center is in
spin
front.
around
Yeah,
it.
that's fair.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than the backless Titan with a back.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Oh no, Barnleen's watching.
You just noticed?
Like the whole time.
Shout
I
out
just noticed.
to Barleen.
Damn, bro.
The cat is in the chat, y'all.
The cat is in the building.
Thanks for stopping by, my friend.
Are you saying you would
I'm
have
sorry,
differently if you would know the Barleen were?
Obviously.
Obviously.
You
Jeez.
inauthentic motherfucker.
I apologize for the onslaught of questions to you, Barleen, in chat, but you know it's how it goes. You gotta expect it wherever you go at this point, right?
Mm-hmm. Gotta do it.
I like to think he has another account that he goes on when he doesn't want to be asked questions.
Mm.
I believe that, actually.
I was gonna make a joke, but I think it wouldn't have hit.
Would it
home.
have been a good one?
To you specifically.
Oh. Damn, bro.
Wow, I feel left out.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Well, no, I mean you two would have gotten it, but I don't know. It just would have fell flat, kind of like the conversation is now. What are you getting into, Tweaks?
I think
What
we
did
might as
you
well
mean?
just do the new
He doesn't
content.
know.
Hey guys, what's up? I don't know. I have no idea. No, we're just gonna jump into the actual.
Oh,
this battle.
now you're gonna actually boost his damage. So he's gonna go from what looked like already boosted damage to something else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm figuring we might as well show him with a full enabler squad. Of course, no one is running an X-Bet, so I can't get the full effect. But you know, what are you gonna do?
I could put her on real quick.
You don't
Nah,
have
don't worry
me as
about
a
it.
friend.
Or do you have her up?
Yeah.
This
Oh.
is what it means to go even further beyond.
Oh, can I have it. I have it, priest.
Do you want it?
Yeah, let's get
Oh,
it.
dang,
Might as
you
well.
gotta-
I haven't done his
gotta-
54,000. Oh, sorry,
You have
54,000.
to interrupt my auto run, bro.
It's
What is
so
Oh
rude.
my goodness.
Tell me the thing.
Hold on. I do have it memorized. I just have to sift
I'm pretty
through.
sure I have it written down too. I just can't.
I have to
possibly go get it.
sift through the records of my brain, so it just takes.
Dude,
a
just go
second.
search in game.
Sure.
Click like 2 times and it'll pop up.
It's
Buda's like rank 40, dude.
you know, just
Oh yeah, Buda's a baby.
I'm about halfway there,
He doesn't see us.
very close, and I found it in my brain. It's 194-485-661.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Alright, I had to
Remembering
do it.
that.
It happened.
Dude, I
That
couldn't even
many
tell you
guns
the
support.
first 3 from my friend code.
Anyone wants to know mine? It's 145160924. Yeah.
Yeah,
One
the
oh nine
tattoo
nine oh
on
eight
your-
six three six.
Jesus. What is wrong with you guys?
Buda didn't accept it yet. So.
We like numbers.
I did. Just give it a little bit
Don't.
to load. The LC servers are a little bit like Buda's brain.
Is that
you know?
it?
It just takes a second.
You mean they're manually sorting through paper files to send your
Potentially.
friend request over?
Potentially, Panda. We don't know. We're not there.
Okay.
We're not at HQ.
Let me just make sure I have everything on them, because yeah, this is fine. I'm just making sure I have Sis, just in case Aaron pops out an ult and just annihilates my entire team. I just want to have Sarah reviving to get everyone else up. So that was the only thing that I wanted to make sure. But what you're gonna see here is 54,000 caps, which
That's
just
it?
seems good, right? This is absolutely
Seems
the highest I've seen on any physical DPS we've had. This is absolutely the highest caps we have.
Oh, except for our Dean Burst Dragons.
Oh yeah, you know, reasonable caps. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying Aaron. Yeah, Aaron's got 200k, but you know, screw him.
Well, damn it.
Rip.
Almost,
Damn,
And somehow Levi's still a
almost
better
got one on the board, but not yet.
Isn't Goroth like 190k or something? Come on, man.
Not that.
Show some respect.
Isn't that on his special?
Big sexy Goroth. Oh no,
Yeah.
regular Goroth.
Oh.
Yeah. Regular Goroth has
S3.
a huge.
Mm.
And in case you guys blinked and missed that,
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, see, here we go. Rip. There goes the entire squad, boys. there we go. See you
there goes
later.
the neighborhood.
Oh no, he survived.
Levi's alive. 50,000.
It's probably because I had from zero on him.
50,000.
You mean you had the best collaboration skill in the game on your unit?
Yeah, I forgot to take it off. Actually, I didn't actually want that on there. Whoops! I expected it either.
I like how that's very, it's very canonical. Everybody else dies, and Levi is just like, well, guess I got to do it myself.
Yep.
Well, that was literally one S3, a special to kill Mikasa, and then one S3. Like, jeez.
Wow.
First
A lot
time I
of
did
damage.
that fight, I forgot about her bullshit physical damage
Yeah.
notification. And I was just like, why am I not doing damage? What is going on here? And then she died, and I was
You-
like, wait a minute. That's right.
You forgot that units actually.
I don't have her, so I don't know.
I used
I watched it, and then that's it.
I used Wish Dealer's Glukiel, and that made it really easy.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
That's what I did too.
It's like cheating.
I used my own. I used mine and somebody else's. I don't remember
I'm dead.
whose. But that she
That's
was doing
funny.
nothing. I was like, wait, why is she still not doing anything? Like 3 specials. It was great.
But Levi, man. I mean, that just showcase. I mean, yes, that's end game shit. That's UR stuff. That's like
That's top of the
that's
top.
fully capped out, right?
Tippity top. That's why we watch tweaks to see that.
Yeah.
That's why you tweaks.
We watched Weeks.
I know for a fact
Is
that
it
these little shits
Panda
don't watch me.
And Crypt, you guys ditched the family. So
Well, we were kicked out of the family.
no, that's
Listen,
I'm
in real life, I
Yo.
ditched my family. In real life, I moved 3,000 miles away from my family. In this life, I was kicked unceremoniously out of the family.
Oh, what?
listen.
Whatever.
I'm
All right,
referring
well,
to
regardless.
our unit. Okay, we don't need to go there.
What? I'm still. You guys are the only ones I still talk to.
We love you too, Craig.
I know.
But yeah, I mean that's freaking Levi, man. His S3 is the goated skill in his kit for sure. Special is just absolutely disgusting, especially with true dual wield having 68 hits. Bro, he's a very fun unit,
He's a
very
fast
fun.
boy.
Skill stock 3 already, please.
right?
Just get Ardene's paid gear and get Ardeen.
What if I already have Ardeen, but that's not Levi?
Fair enough.
I don't see the argument.
But here's the thing, so why don't we have this discussion of where he sits in the top tier of DPS and why he's not necessarily different,
gives
but
a
he's,
shit?
he's not the same as like a Loug Zeus or a Roy or an Ardeen, because each one of them have their own separate facets of like where they're good, and I think that's important with power creep. That's important.
Yes
with power
and no.
creep. Yeah.
They have their own facets where they're good at the very top end of min-maxing absolute potential. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, you could take any of the past
Any of
20 physical DPS units and be able
Yep.
to be perfectly fine in all content in the game.
100%.
So, like, it's a
And-
very niche argument.
Uh-huh.
But if you're trying to min-max, then it matters.
Yes, and I think that is a very important point, is that we try to emulate on the tier list as well. Like, there's so many units that are 8.5 and above that are just still very, very good, and I think people see that, as like a 9, only a 9. Like, oh my god, only a 9.
You have to
He's
realize
down to, like,
scale
7.
has changed. Like,
Exactly. Even like 7, 7.5. Like, dude, those units are still all very good, and
there
you can
used to be,
clear
like,
any content
two
you want
units
with
that
them.
were that good. Now there's
Right.
like 40.
Right. People are like, oh, Levi's going to be a 9.8, 9.9. Like, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. All these units are very useful, super good. Of course, there maybe some might not do it as fast, but the difference between a 7.5 and a 9 really isn't that much. A difference between a 10 and a 9.4, yeah, it might be a good bit. Fair enough. But we try to keep them pretty close on there, just because, like, it's not supposed to say like you can't use Shift a little bit. Like, no, she's amazing.
I think,
She's
honestly, the only place where there's even a reason to consider differences in tiers between, like, any physical DPS unit from, like, say,
Past
rank
2
7
years.
all the way to 10. Yeah, pretty much all of them is time trials.
Time
There's
trials.
going to be
Mhm.
the upper echelon is obviously going to perform better, but if you're expecting to compete like competitively in time trials, then
Then you'll need
it's kind of
some stuff.
expected you're going to have that anyway.
Right. And you know what? Even in PvP, it doesn't really matter that much, because like you need a few units. You only can use 4 units in PvP. 4 units. If you can get a couple of the super meta ones, that people have shown that work really, really well in Arena, you can do just fine. And
Honestly,
people-
you don't even need a couple. I mean, if you get one,
Well-
you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, if you had Roy,
You can
you're
probably run
all right.
Yeah, the entire team is centered around Roy or Levi. Either way, it's fine.
Shout out
Well-
to T-Main. I think he's managed to get to like number 11 with Ardeen. Like,
Oh, dude, if I didn't have Roy, I'd be using Ardeen
I
heavily.
mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, is Ardene's S2 not just an entire team wipe
Oh my
right out
God,
the
it's
gate,
unbelievable.
no matter where you start from?
pretty much.
Like, I don't have him, so I'm genuinely asking, but that's, like, when the first time I
Alright,
did that
so
skill, I was like,
here's what
Lord Arena.
Here's what I did in the past, like, 2 weeks or so since we've had a rain in this. Like, of course, I jumped up pretty quick, and I've been able to just, like, spar everyone or, like, hit anyone in Super Gold 1. So I've just been switching around my team to, like, a physical DPS that I've been enjoying. I've been using, well, first of all, Roy's disgusting. I've been using Levi today, a heavily amount. I mean, I didn't have him flushed out at first, but now I have his kit pretty well down. Mikasa's fantastic there. Aaron's very good as well. Then you're looking
Aaron,
at Ardeen.
Arena highlight win.
Ardeen is filthy. Loug Zeus is filthy. I mean, now you're getting into like Shift Lancel's still very good. Exped's disgusting in Arena.
Yep.
DB Ray's actually still pretty good too.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. But like you're still looking at a lot of the top tier units. And sorry, I skipped completely
Did
over
you
A2
skip
and
over
2B.
the freaking machine?
Yeah, like
Dude, I love
nasty.
A2 so much still.
They're all
Her
disgusting.
S3
Swimsuit
starts.
Alice.
Dude,
It doesn't
even Baron and DeGrogue, even Sheeta, like, dude, if you have one physical DPS that you can just, concentrate on using and manually using, of course people want to auto sometimes, but if you can manually use a physical DPS to, like, and know what you're doing, then yeah. You can climb and you can make it work with a couple units.
Especially if you're on offense, because you could pick your fights.
Right.
Like if you see a unit that you know you're going to lose to, just don't fight them.
Just don't fight.
Yep.
Spend the insignificant amount of gold to re-roll your fight. Dude, I remember one of those first, like, really early seasons. It might have been the one where I was trying to outrun Neon Evo. I spent tens of millions of gold re-rolling fights to fights that I knew I was going to win.
Yeah, you can do that, absolutely. And with the Maja farm nowadays, right, Buddha? You can get a lot of gold very quickly.
Gosh. I was doing it. I stopped because I was waiting until we were going to run some Godforge. Are we going to do that
We can
soon?
do that if you'd like.
Because I didn't get to partake.
No, you didn't. You were too busy, and we started without you, and you were salty.
Listen,
and
your boy
couldn't admit
Boo's
it, so.
trying to get back into the fitness, okay? I got to make time for the body, for the physical.
Body's built like a temple.
Like a
Doing
what?
Body by
multiplayer?
Anyways, yeah, we can do some
What?
gains here.
I would
I
love for
will be a bro and use Sarah, so your Levi's could be better.
Okay, we can do
You're
that.
going to be a bro and use Sarah so you don't have to do anything.
Shh.
So one thing I will say is,
Expose ulterior motives.
if anyone has seen the short that we put out earlier, myself and a few other guys in Discord ran Levi against Vajra, which we're going to do right now. One of the best ways to make sure Levi gets the most amount of damage is having more stocks. So one of the best arcs on him in multiplayer, especially if you're using Pirate's Feast, which we like to push and tell everyone, use Pirate's Feast, because every wave after wave 1 you get full stocks. The arc we're talking about here is Stardust Live. If you don't have Council of 10, you're not going to use the arc skill. This just straight up gives maximum skill stocks of all skills +1. So he has 2 stocks in natives S3. This will make it 3. If you got Purple Orb, even better. It's going to be 4 stocks. Very, very, very... I mean, nothing else is really that useful in this, except for that. But it is the only arc in the game that just gives you a flat-out 1+1 stock to all skills without having to do anything. So if people have that arc, make sure you use it. Of course, Council of 10 does give you a stock after using the arc skill, but in multiplayer, only one person can use that. So you might as well just use Stardust Live. And against Vajra, he's weak to Earth. Guess what? Levi's Earth. And he can be Slayer down to, just dumping his HP with Levi's S3. So, let's do that. Let's do that, and I'm going to put on maybe some different items here, because I had him set up before, and I took it off.
What's Vajra? He's a god?
He's a god.
He is a
yes.
god.
Weak to Earth.
Let me teach him god.
Weak to Earth. I'm going to put on a spear. Don't really need any of this stuff. Don't really need that. Don't really need that, but might put it back on. Pirate's Feast, 100%. Do sword boosts, good. Ultimate boost, no. Just these. Sharp eyes, absolutely. Berserker, sure. From 0, no. And now I have 16 SC to work with. That's great. Ooh, let's use.
Well, I
just
don't
in
need
case.
mimicry fish anymore, do I?
Unless you plan to be a fish god.
Oh,
Unless you plan to be a fish
that
god.
was the recommended build from Tweaks earlier. So now I don't know what to do. Tweaks isn't telling me
You can do
what
whatever
to
you want,
do.
dude. Honestly, like
Bro, no, I need you to tell me everything that I need to do.
whatever you had on that build earlier,
I
just put it
can't
back.
build myself, Tweaks.
Oh my God.
What are you? A global player? Jeez!
I hate you so much.
Please tell me.
Oh, good times.
Dad, please.
I'm just
Dad,
gonna
help.
not use
Quit memeing me,
2SC.
alright?
Actually, you know what?
Crypt, what are you gonna be running? Are you gonna be running your homie?
I have no idea. What do you want me to run?
Bro, honestly, you can. It's either Ed or Levi.
I mean, Ed's fully built, but
Ed's
Levi's
probably
fun.
still. Ed probably still has the same build on you used him last time we were in this match.
Yeah, you're probably right. You are probably telling the truth.
But why is yours only 97?
Listen, man, I don't want to
Shame.
talk about it.
For shame.
Are we even gonna kill this boss? All right.
I
Would
warned
you
man.
actually prefer I use Sarah or like a DPS?
Can you just bring Winnie's Apple Pie or Honey Elixir and throw it on me whenever I'm out of stocks? With Sarah?
I don't know if
You
she
can-
has it taught yet.
Oh.
Let me check.
Are you gonna use your special, by the way?
I
On the
can.
final wave? Yeah, might as well. We're not in it for a time.
Is he gonna have it?
Yeah, if he uses Great War Ruin.
I can always have it, bro.
I see.
In fact,
What a-
you all
that
can
was-
have it as well.
That was implied, yeah. And yeah, we can talk about the arc after this. I don't think the event really needs much said to it, to be honest.
I don't think so. You pretty much
You kinda just covered it with
you
the
showed
fights.
it. You showed it.
Yeah, that's literally it. Yeah, we can go over the arc after this because I always forget about the arc.
This is
Yeah, I
definitely
haven't
another
talked to her yet.
collab about. This is literally.
If you use class record,
this
you'll be
is
fine.
this is Full Metal Alchemist reskinned with Attack on Titan in my brain. Same kind of thing. 2 weeks, not much of an event, all about the characters, and literally the better version was released after part 1.
I
of
think
that
this was. I
character.
think Marlene was saying in chat that this was planned before
Mm.
FMA, if I remember
Really?
correctly. I don't
Well,
know.
they're-
You can confirm in chat. I remember them saying something about it being planned a while ago.
Yeah,
So it might have been like an old setup per se.
maybe. It just I
Hey, man,
see
Ed
a lot of
totally has
similarities.
Godslayer on.
Why are you using? Okay,
I don't know.
Bro on he has trouble capping. Not trouble capping, but if you don't want to run from behind, but why does he have what the?
I have no idea. You said I'm probably using the same build from last time, so this is
I mean, you
apparently the
probably
build from
are.
last time.
All right, take off all your HP ups, put on MP ups, and use Swordsman's Tail.
Okay.
See? Tweaks? We can't do builds without you, bro.
You can't read? I don't read.
By the way, Brandon is asking, is there a reason you are on subs only mode?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You just want subs only.
Because I don't want to hear people who aren't subbed. They're annoying.
Fair enough.
Sub or GTFO?
Just like, ever since I turned on sub mode, my chat is a much more enjoyable place. I'm like, wow, this is great. So,
I love it.
cool. Glad to see
Fair
what
enough.
side of the bench you're on, Brandon.
All you gotta do is like, follow, subscribe, your boy.
I literally
It's
say it
not
at
like-
the end of
it's not
every
like It
video.
even costs anything.
It's not rocket science.
Aren't subs like free?
Yes.
Subs are free.
It's literally one click.
delicious.
By the way,
subs.
guys, anyone's watching this and not subbed, you should go sub to Buddha right now. Hit that
You should
red
sub to
button.
Buddha right now.
Listen, you do everybody, you do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I do.
I
That's all we
disagree.
gotta do.
Instead of doing what you want to do, you should subscribe to Buddha, and if you are subscribed to Tweaks, you should go to his page and unsubscribe. Because you don't need that kind of
Nice.
negativity in your life.
Guys, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Did we lose Damos, by the way?
No.
I was learning honey elixir real quick,
Oh my god, you didn't have to do that.
but I did.
You're the best. You're just the best, dude.
I know.
Hmm.
Problem
Well,
is,
what-
how am
what-
I gonna
what-
fit it on her build?
We
I
don't-
only have 94 SC.
We don't really
I don't
have.
know, man. It's gonna be almost impossible.
Well, we don't have really like intermediate talking points. So what do we do now?
Dude, I don't know, man.
I'm
What do we do?
coming.
I mean, I can
Oh
show
my
people
God.
the build if you want. Like, shit.
I'm
That's
freaking
right.
out
Go
right now.
We got these
Should be.
four. If
I
you
can
guys
tell
want
you about a monkey I bought for $100 that's now worth like $4,000 if you want me to.
He's not even kidding.
I wish he was kidding, but he's really not.
Oh, I'm so not.
I love the NFT space. Hey, we got Bond Screed. Subscribe and thank you, sir. Welcome to the chat room.
That's the only way to be able to chat, guys.
He just wanted to talk to you.
Just wanted to say hi, Buddha.
He just subscribed so he could tell you that being subscribed only is bullshit.
You know that guy has something to say. Like,
Hey, at least I'm not doing members only chat because that's another feature I could do.
what if you did only fans chat?
Many people might enjoy
Can
that.
we like relax?
I mean, I literally started this podcast out by telling Buddha to take his shirt off.
He did. I know.
I mean, wait, why are you wearing that shirt? What is wrong with
Yeah,
you?
right.
Oh, listen, I'm a
Anyways.
little more invested than you guys are. Okay. Well, oh, we're doing stuff.
I
Okay.
think that's untrue.
I don't know if that's true.
What happened? What happened?
Buddha's a blasphemer. That's what happened.
I'm a blasphemer. I don't even know what that means, but I am it. Let's do it again, baby. Wow.
Is that good?
Can you guys kill these waves faster, please?
I don't think so.
Members
heard
only
I
chat.
can't kill them
20 seconds.
before they start their stupid lightning attack.
We'll
Yeah,
try harder.
Sorry, guys. Alright, I'm
I
just
think
gonna
I'm
use
Buddha's
spamming
has
it straight so
6
you can use
gas
it whenever.
buffs and
So
tweaks
I
is
could
at
just-
Oh,
7.
you're
we
using
just-
Green War Ruin? Are you using your thing?
Oh,
We just go in, right? Like we just start. I'm just
Oh,
clicking
I mean, I'm gonna wait
S3.
for the
Right?
special, but damn, bro.
Oh. Well, I'm only one stock down, so it's
It's
fine.
fine.
Right? It's fine.
I always forget that her ult does damage.
Is this
so
good?
weird.
Is this good? Is this good?
Oh,
Oh, you freaking jerk off.
oh man.
he's gonna kill it?
No!
Yes!
That's actually gonna kill.
Is she? I think she is.
I
Yeah.
think she might.
Yep.
Let's go!
DPS Sarah, baby. DPS breaking Sarah.
Sarah's solo fun.
I think I have a light high drive on her.
I
I
think
think you're dead. I
I'm
think
pretty
Bobby's
sure
dead.
I'm pretty sure Debos, Crypt, and myself were all racing to get that last special.
I'm
100%.
I let the cat out of the bag, dude.
You dropped it. You dropped the ball to each.
Oh, just a casual 13 seconds, though.
You blew
Okay,
your load too
for me,
early.
that was 12 seconds, and it's my record.
Oh, casual 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot faster than Maja.
Yeah.
That's
yes,
cool.
it is.
That's neat. And he's like physically immune resistant, right?
Not against Earth.
Ah, okay.
Not against what we're doing.
That makes sense.
Why do you
Not-
only have 7 gold stamps?
That's about
Because I need to keep the Ono in there.
that's about
obvious
as
reasons.
that's about as fun as the quadruple Loug.
Yeah, it's
I don't
pretty
know,
great.
man.
It is-
The quadruple Loug like break fest is just like its own level of entertainment.
I also
You know, on that point, we have not done that since I got the arc.
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
yeah, no, listen.
Here's one thing that I do want to do in the future, though. I do want to do something similar to this, except have Moonlit Murder on every single unit.
for the
Okay.
chance for insta break on.
I'm
4
buying.
units was it? Yes.
But
I think that
feel
would be
like
actually
we
hilarious.
need
Sometime in the future, I think we should do that.
I'm down.
Moonlit Murder on Levi is actually probably just like
That's
super stupid.
exactly what I was thinking.
It's gotta be super stupid.
But yeah, why don't we get into the arc? Why
Oh
don't we get
yeah,
into the arc?
we're
Oh,
not
yeah, there's
we're
an
not done.
Pretty good arc actually.
We have an arc?
I
People
mean,
are calling this the Loug Zeus arc, and I do not know why.
you don't know why?
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't either, bro. Can
I
you,
know why.
I honestly
can
don't
someone
get
in
it.
chat
I
tell
think they're a
us?
little bit concerned. I'm concerned that they think it's the.
Yeah.
If you think this is a Loug Zeus arc, then you're probably not going to make it.
Anyways, 3,700 HP. Anyone notice that? 3,700 HP is a lot of HP.
Is what has a higher HP stat than that?
Not many things. Not many things.
Not many things,
Would you like
right?
me to go
We
check?
can sort, yeah.
I'll go sort real quick. I'll show it on here. HP.
Nothing in mine.
3942 is the highest we have with Game Master, and that's fully decked out, I believe.
Oh
Yeah,
right,
600 more.
extensions.
So can I add 600 more to this and get 40?
Machine life forms. Don't lie to me.
Okay. Well, I don't have it maxed out. It's
Okay,
3,500.
well,
I see.
there you go. It's
This is
3963.
3,500.
So that's at base.
3,500.
Right.
We have 3,700 here is the highest base we've ever had. To be fair.
Yes.
But, we have arcs that such as, Blaze Garden that has another plus 20% passive and stuff like that. So it's going to be more. But this is the highest base HP we've had on any arc so far. Any arc. 338 strength is pretty good. None of the other stats are really necessary at all. And the high HP, high strength actually makes sense because this fight, Aaron versus female Titan. I don't know, it just makes sense to me. The arc trait specifically, special damage boost based on number of living allies, max plus 80%. This is the first time we've seen another arc besides Eldravana, I think, with an extremely high damage to the special. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know what you guys feel about it, but damage to guarding enemies plus 20%, damage taken when guarding minus 20%. So I don't know how useful that's going to be in all scenarios, but yeah, I can see its use. When an enemy uses a special, restore unit special gauge 30% once per wave. So this will happen. I mean, especially this is going to happen mostly in PvE. When a boss uses a special, you just get 30% of your own special back, which is kind of nice. Learnables. This is the first time we've ever seen counter charge, and counter in itself is pretty wonky mechanic and pretty garbage. So I don't know if they're trying to bring it back, but they could have just left it die. To be fair, this by itself isn't gonna make counter a meta thing. I think if they start bringing back things that are related to counter, and just by its mechanics, it's just horrible in general. It's almost like a damage proc. It can't proc ailments. It can't proc anything else. If once it becomes better, I think we'll have something with this. But this is just like a placeholder for a future event when we can make use of it. HP up 4 is nice to have on a second arc. I believe that's only on the Ulier arc. And this Battle of Titans, this is the main reason people are saying this is a Loug Zeus arc. I actually do think it's fairly priced, to be fair. 5 SC for plus 20% damage and minus 20% damage taken. Notably, this is all damage dealt and all damage taken, plus and minus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just your physical. It's all magical, all special, all arc skill, plus and minus damage dealt and damage taken. So yes, this is just about the only thing that's usable, or only unit that is really going to want this. If you're using it that way, is Loug Zeus naked, because he has God armor, because you can put on Shiny Monkey, you can put this on and accelerate his damage and makes him take less damage. But dude, it's in every single scenario that I build him, especially arena, PvP, PvE, in max damage is dual wield. I think the only notable place of this would be useful is if you're building a thick boy Loug Zeus on defense. That's probably about it. So if you want to throw this on defense, I would say so. Auto protection, cool. And this is the first time we've seen a third boost to ultimate. We have ultimate boost 1 and 2, which are 20 and 30% boosts. This is a 50% boost for 8SC. Legit amazing. And if you're extremely, or if you're really trying to build out ultimates max damage without wasting a bunch of other stuff like attack races, this is your go-to. Or, you know, maxing that damage via ailments, you don't necessarily have to anymore. This is a nice jump to that damage. And it's especially for units like Zorg, who have an extremely high damage cap for their ult. Use this. Or even if you know you're going to be using, you know, the ultimate on a unit in cap like you are like Levi, like Loug Zeus, like Shift Alice, this is going to be make it a lot easier for you. So, I like it. This is probably the main point of why I would want this arc, just for future use. I think Counter Charge will probably have future use. I just don't know when. And then Battle Titans is nice to have for Loug Zeus if you're building him thick as a thick boy. Not necessarily for the damage, because the damage dealt, we all know that dual wield is superior. But in arena, maybe you don't always want dual wield. Oh, sure. Arc Ether. Arc Ether reward is the Scout Cloak, chance to nullify physical and special damage. This is very, very similar to Levi's Paid, except this is physical and special instead of just physical, as well as another 500 HP, which is the same. 10 fire res, 5 ice res, and then 62 defense and 29 mind. It's pretty good. I think this is interesting because we, depending on what chance this is, which we assume is either 5 or 10%. I hope 10%. And if it's 20%, maybe.
Juicy.
Probably not, though. Probably not. My best guess is 10%. And once Lake gets back from vacation, he'll tell us.
If ever.
If ever. Yeah, I think it's a good AER. I don't think it's anything crazy or game-breaking, but the more we can stack nullifying damage, the more it gets useful, right? Because we have Levi, who technically can get his paid as well as this on an arc, or as the AER put on him. He has illusion, and other units even have more ways of nullifying damage. Like I know Alice and some other units have like that anti-fizz armor. I think DXR has it to like nullify damage. So could be useful. Once we get a bunch more of those procs, or a bunch more of those independent procs, I think that'll be a very cool way to build a unit that's not necessarily your bread and butter physical DPS. If they can dodge a lot of stuff, that'll be a cool new way to build them. But yeah, Arc isn't bad at all. I do like this for its learnables. I'm not so sure I'll use it just because I do have Eldravana, but I see with people without the UR Eldravana, getting a huge boost to special damage is definitely useful. So pretty cool.
It's cool. It's
cool.
I see it on two ends of the spectrum. Nothing in this arc
is chaseable, right?
Not at all.
Oh, it's definitely on the spectrum.
Close. I don't understand the coupling of special and guard. I really just don't get. I can't piece together the logic, but also I'm a global scrub. So
I think
lore related.
Those are like lore related to the fight between Aaron and the female Titan, actually.
So just like let's just make whatever we want
and make it tied to that. Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't mind it. It's just I'm there for the learnables and the AER.
I think that's actually a good point. I think when we look at these things, it seems like Adis wants to make thematic things, especially during collabs.
100%.
I don't think how it's going to integrate into the meta or what's current. I don't think that's a very forefront. Those aren't forefront ideas when they're creating these things, because obviously none of this is making any sense compared to what the masses look at right now in this game, right? But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because that kind of creativity, it opens up the door to maybe being useful at a later time when things have shifted in the culture. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but I said it. And what do you guys got?
You're making all the sense.
Mm-hmm.
All the sense. Yep.
Buddha makes sense. This is truly an alternate reality.
Stop it.
Yeah, while Crypt, or not Crypt, it's mainly Panda. While Panda has dove into the NFT space, he has become a Buddha hater. but it's fine.
I
I'm
am
used to
not
it
a
by
Buddha
now.
hater. I tried to support
I'm
you.
used to
and
it by now.
You said, screw you guys.
I'm used to it by now. So
You literally said, "Screw you guys." We like say you have
bring it
blondes.
on.
Anyways,
Buddha's the bad guy.
Cat Barlene is saying in chat that the special is mostly about Aaron Guard, mostly about the female Titan.
Right. So it's thematic to the
Yeah.
show. How do they
Absolutely.
How do they integrate the theme into their game? How do the mechanics? Right. So it doesn't necessarily make sense from a functional standpoint. It just ties in the Attack on Titan themes to what we have currently in game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd argue a lot of the other collab arcs do that too. Like, right? Like,
Mhm.
this one I didn't find very interesting at all, but I feel like this was a little bit thematic, just because it's Roy, more damage on him, gaining health, and then when it's one of his buddies is incapacitated. Like, sure, I get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying. So cool.
So now the question on everyone's mind: Levi or Mikasa?
Does anyone want to? Does anyone want to make an argument for Mikasa? I'm very curious.
Like, seriously, is there one?
No.
No,
No.
right?
And
It's
then,
the Roy effect.
I think she's
Further
great,
than that-
but like again, like you're gonna want Levi, which is why we told literally everyone who was on the chopping block to just wait for week 2.
Let's say you have Levi. Worth pulling for her. For Mikasa, I mean.
No,
I guess my next question is,
if you
what
already
kind
have
of
Levi,
account? What kind of account are we
Yeah.
talking? You know,
Like, for anyone, or a brand new
anyone,
player.
For anyone.
If you just started with a Levi and Aaron, is it worth spending crystals on Mikasa?
Not at all.
no.
Not at all.
Like no, if you have Levi, like you're
It's
good
done.
for the collab.
Build
Like,
him.
you're good.
Spend your very hard to come by resources on him. That's it. You're done. Good job. Reroll for Caldina before you get him. It's done. Game over. You won. Good job.
Yep. That's it.
So,
You can get Sarah in the starter pool right now, right?
No.
Not in theory anymore.
No, you can't get Sarah.
correct.
No, you can absolutely not get Sarah.
No, not Sarah. It's up to Loug Zeus.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. But
Shit, if
is
he's in there?
Tyria still on? Is she still in the banner? But is she just not on rate up? I actually never
I
knew
believe
that.
that's how it's
She's
been
on the
working,
banner.
yeah.
She's not on rate up. Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can still get her. That's nice.
I would not recommend re-rolling for that.
Right, no. The target is Loug.
I mean,
And all the
if you're
reroll
trying to
guys
get
that I see.
Levi, Caldina, and one of those, you're going to be doing it for days.
Yeah, days. Uh-oh.
I don't know, bro.
There's the Baconator. He's subscribed.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
See, I have to disagree with you guys. I think that even if you have Levi, if you like Mikasa, if you like Attack on Titan,
Sure.
then I say go for her.
She's a great.
Because
That's a fair
at
argument.
the end of the day, as we already mentioned, like every PDBS from like the last year and a half is good enough for all content. So at that point, you have to either decide if you want to min max and try and compete at the very top echelon, or you have to look for units that are going to be fun for you, for units that you're going to like. And if she fills that niche, then that's what I say you do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always one for if you are a diehard, you love the unit, go for what you have fun with. For sure. And she's also great at it. RK, baby. And she's also going to be a great unit, as Panda's saying, as a byproduct of that.
Right.
So, but if we're talking, your typical new game player that's just looking for the best kind of start on their account, I think my advice is always the same. Like, get your main deeps, get your support, get your magic DPS, Once you get that core team, then start branching out your horizons. But until then, that's all I got. That's all I got. That's how I did. That's how I started. That was my focus. That's what carried me through the game. That's what got me over a lot of hurdles that I saw other people having as new players that I just didn't, because it worked. It helped me get through a lot of challenges that Elsie presents early game at random points. But if you have your physical DPS, you have your magic DPS, you have your support to keep them alive, you can basically just keep overcoming them. And you only focus on 3, right? That's the kicker right there. Once you start spreading your early game mats across all of your characters because you want to try and get all of them up, that's when you hit walls real quick. So,
yeah. And I mean, I still enjoy Mikasa very, very much, and she's a very complete kit, really good unit for beginning accounts and even for endgame accounts. Like, has more DPS than many other units in the game. Like, if you want her, yeah, sure. She's not going to treat you wrong by any means. She's a current DPS. She just doesn't have the single target damage that Levi does. That's all. That's all.
Right. I was about to address this in the comment section. I guess we can kind of move on to kind of a Q&A to wrap up. What do you guys think?
Sure. If you want to drop Q&A. While you're doing that, though, I'm going to run out for just a second so you can answer some questions.
Weeks is running out. What do we do, guys? I don't know.
Bro,
what to
I'll
do.
be back in like a couple minutes, but hold on a second.
No,
Bro,
don't take me out of your
Wax is
backpack,
abandoning
bro.
us?
Don't
Wax
take
is
me out of
abandoning.
your backpack, please.
All right, just go answer the questions. I'll be right back.
Okay. I was going to address RK's question. And Panda and Crypt, you guys were around back in these days. He asked... Oh, I lost it. Shit. He remembers a long time ago, Honey Elixir wasn't as great when it first released. And if I remember correctly, you guys talked about how back then there was no good MP regeneration.
So yeah, so that it's a multifaceted issue with that. The first is MP. When it came out, we had essentially half the current MP that we do. So, like a unit maxes out with 400, we were lucky to hit 200. So even being able to use the skill in the first place was not easy to do. And then on top of that, for the most part, we did not have SC to spare 12 SC on. Like, we had, 60, 70 SC worth of saves, and we needed the full 80 just to be able to get near hitting cap. So there was no way you were going to be able to fit, a 12 SC stock regeneration skill in there. Some people did, and some people, some units could, but for the most part, that just wasn't something you were doing. And we didn't have as good as MP regen either with the such low MP pool. So it was just like a lot of reasons why it didn't work very well. It still worked, it was still great, and it was still amazing to have. It just wasn't used as much because it was a lot harder to use. Nowadays, I mean, you get a unit and it could use it right away, and then you'd be fine.
Would you say like Sword Magineer Lilibet was kind of a shift in how Honey Elixir, how effective it was, or did it become useful even before that?
The moment it started seeing a lot more use was the moment our MP got unnerved, because in JP it was always whatever it is now. But when the game launched on global, we had half of what they had.
So weird.
So when they undid that, people started using it because they could actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time we had better units as far as saves go, so we had a little bit more SC to spare for things like that. But yeah,
Interesting.
it took them about 6-7 months before it was really something everyone was like, all right, let's throw this on there because it's good. And I'll be honest, I never even used it. Not at all, ever once until when did they do time trials? Whenever that was. Just because it's such a time saver.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I'd never used it. I don't even use it for regular content now. It's great, and I recommend using it if you can, but I don't.
Yeah. It's still like for casual play, it's still not. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, it's certainly for content where you are trying to shave off, that extra 10, 15, 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's definitely not. It's yeah, and maybe also when you have like a specific burst strategy like the one I have, and obviously like the current Colossal Titan boss, just to have literally one character be there, which is XBet for me, stock your DPS with a bunch of skills, and then you burst down, and that's how you just continuously grind the stage. But like as a new player, it's like, oh, I started off with Honey Elixir. It's like, okay, it like means nothing because it sucks.
You're not using it.
It sucks at that point. But yeah, you'd never know. You would never know that based on how it's talked about in the community. You would think it's just like, oh, my account sucks without it. But it's really not the case.
Yeah, don't like misinterpret that as people weren't super excited when it first came out. Like everyone knew that it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just extremely hard to use, so it wasn't used as much. But it was always like from the day it came out, everyone knew that's great. Obviously, the day it came out, that wasn't the talking point because no one could use it. But it was always one of those things like, yeah,
this is going to be amazing.
You want to have that.
Yeah. Luckily, I was able to get WAP. Honey Elixir didn't come home, but WAP graced my account, and now it's great. New to the game, how good is Rabala? Anyone have any input? I don't have her. I mean,
she's a great Earth Mage. Like 6 months ago.
Yeah, she got a little bit of a boost with her 5e, but she's...
I don't really use her. I never really did. She never really filled a niche that I felt needed filled. She's... I don't know. She's not bad. Like we just said.
Right.
Any unit over the last year and a half is good enough for most content in the game. I just don't use her over other units I have.
Yeah, when you're talking about tippity top, comparing her to them, but as a new player starting out with Rabala, she's gonna be fantastic because early game spell damage, magic damage is a lot more significant because it's map wide, right? Like your physical DPS, you can't access their true potential until you start getting closer to end game. So in the meantime, magic users look like gods because they can cast these map-wide spells that burst down the enemies with those low HP pools. And Rabala also, when you're able to unlock it, doesn't she have that unique skill that basically gives the enemies weak immediately?
I think so.
Pretty sure she has that somewhere in her kit. So, you know, is that right?
What?
Oh, tweaks. Man, what are you doing back here, bro? We were handling it just fine without you.
Sorry for ruining the party.
Someone asked how good Rabala is, and I was explaining how obviously compared to end game top of the curve, she falls short, but as an early game player where magic is much more prominent and with a lot of
and yeah, she does have Divine Wind, which is really good.
Yeah. Well, that didn't reinforce what I was saying compared to Papoy.
I mean,
Papoy feels like that.
No, she doesn't have the She doesn't have the like Rabala doesn't have the magic to compete with the end game and high tier mages. So she's useful early game, which is what you said.
Yeah, and then you brought up Papoy, so like, what are we talking?
He was still used for early game. What I'm saying,
what are you doing tonight, bro?
When you need mages to do millions upon millions of damage, she's not it. When you need them to do like a couple 100,000, sure.
Listen,
I'm talking about like someone who just started with Rabala as their unit.
Yeah,
right. She's gonna be useful for a while.
She's gonna be useless for a while. Then she's gonna be useful for a while, and then she's gonna fall off hard.
Well, no. Yeah, I guess.
Because remember, you gotta you don't start out knowing
Right.
all the stuff. Like you gotta grind and get all the materials to unlock your spells and all that stuff. But yeah, so it may just start out a little bit weak and then peak kind of early and then drop off.
Yep.
That's very accurate.
There's a point in
I think I was just trying to
it's chapter
sugarcoat it.
5 where you'll definitely feel like regret if you're relying on a mage for the entire story so far.
Is that where your MP pools get affected, or is that where magic
Yeah. A little bit
becomes
of both.
ineffective? Yeah, it's rough. Unless you have Maja.
Like, yeah.
No, that's a
don't know how
lie.
he does
I
it
don't
there.
think he won't. when you watch one of Maja's nukes get tanked by a magically immune enemy, it's kind of depressing.
Feels bad.
It's kind of depressing. Like that wasn't supposed to happen.
No. This is bad.
Yeah.
Everything about this is bad.
Eliza, however, I think Tweaks would be a lot more excited to talk about.
100%.
Yeah, if you start out with her,
Shift Eliza and
man.
Maja are by
You made
far
it.
and away the top 2 mages in the game. Far and away. Followed closely by, Shift Zekis and...
Angela.
And Angela as well. I would think the top five mages in the game, straight up. Maja. Then we're going Shift Eliza, then Angela. Then probably Shift Zekis just because of his coverage.
Mm.
And then,
Awesome.
I think Sheet is also better than Rapala. So,
yeah.
she doesn't even make it top 5. Not even close. I think
Damn.
AOG Lily's ahead of Rapala too.
AOG Lil, yeah.
Probably base Lily as well. Like,
Based Lily.
Give me that E5 Amelia, please.
Rapala's nowhere near the top,
Well,
especially when you get to endgame.
shit all over my argument.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry I missed the first part. I could
Listen,
have caught you
it's
early.
fine. This is why I tell you to just keep me in your backpack, bro. Just don't let me go.
I mean,
That's
I can
still
make
not
my...
to say she's like a bad unit to start.
No. Mm-mm.
She's just not the
tippity top.
Which, at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. Do you care that much?
Right.
If you like her, she'll do the job
The tippity top.
eventually.
Yeah. Right. The tippity top doesn't matter until you're there. You know.
Okay,
certain
I'm going to
extent.
argue because I think the tippity top is still Loug, right? And Loug also starts out incredibly strong because, here's the thing: you don't start out with any equipment,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
Loug doesn't need any equipment. In fact, he thrives when you don't have any equipment.
Yeah.
I did a starter account with him a long time ago, when he came out, and it was just ridiculous. He just laughed his way through 90% of the game. And then you find 2 enemies that are immune to magic, and it's like, okay, well, I either need Death God or a mage. And so it's great.
Yeah. I mean,
Highly
Loug is the
He functions as a mage
exception.
really well too.
Yeah, he literally
True.
covers both. So
That's
literally, just re-roll for Loug.
Just start.
Just re-roll for Loug.
all
all you gotta
I
do.
know he's a big scary space squid man, whatever. But seriously, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't have him as one of your targets for reroll.
Yep. I would totally agree with
Practically, there is no argument against that.
He'll also carry you to Super Gold in Arena entirely by himself. So if you want to talk
Awesome.
about a unit that's just incredibly, incredibly good for starting and continuing, it's always Luke. And until somebody comes out that's better than Luke, it's always going to be Luke.
Yeah, and that's why he's 10 out of 10 across the entire board. Because Barlene, actually, he brought up that G. Lukiel wasn't a 10 out of 10, even though you've used her to, beat some of the hardest challenges in the game.
Yeah, no shit.
But I didn't get a chance to. I was going to address, if you look, there are columns, right, to that tier list. There's an average rating, an overall rating, but the real ratings are within the general usage. What are the other ones? Your ideal usage, and then arena, right? So ideally, she's a 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
In her perfect setup and her perfect scenario, yeah. 100%.
Actually, it's an
Or-
11.
It's 11. I think it says
It's
that.
off the charts.
I think that's
completely
ridiculous.
No,
broken.
it could be an 11, dude.
Right.
Her
Like-
her drawbacks are honestly, she needs a lot to build. for her ideal scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is not built naturally to be used how we use her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot harder to do.
Right.
And then on top of that, her health is not great. If you're starting out and that's the unit you have, you are not going to get very far.
For her
Unless you're just
absolute
building pure magic.
ideal setup, she's actually maybe the most expensive character, right? Because you have to have like a maxed out UR for her to function perfectly.
Beyond that, I mean, you have to build a pure mage as pure DPS.
Right, but I mean, just like for things that are difficult to obtain, like the rest of the mage package, whatever, or physical package, whatever, that's fine. But like having to have a UR multiple times or having like pour dust into it is just such a huge ask to do like the specific thing she does. I don't think anybody else has that kind of requirement.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are other characters that require like multiple level UR arcs to get to.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm. Not to get the return that you get on her. Where are we at? 11:17. I had
Speaking of
scheduled
URs.
this to be over at 11, but
I mean,
we're at
you
a real
can end it
awkward
whenever
time.
you'd like, Buddha.
You just hit us with a schedule.
Listen,
We don't have
guys.
anything really else, do we?
I mean, we have more questions.
Okay.
So
I'll shout out Council of 10. Still my favorite UR arc.
Council of 10 has,
what you
since
mean?
I've
What
gone
did
into
you-
level 10, arc skill
It's
has grown
game-changing.
on me. Oh, man.
Council of level 10.
Okay, if I
Yes,
remember
give me +1
correctly,
stocks. Bro.
I was the only one hyped for that thing when it released.
What?
Well, it's bad
Oh,
unless
what?
you have 9 UR dust.
We can
No,
go
that's
back
not.
and
Any
listen
UR
to
dust.
the podcast. We can. I would be happy to do that because I recall people being like, "This thing sucks.
Well, it
This
does
is
suck
not a
if you
UR."
don't have it max.
I remember.
I
being
don't
excited
think
about
it sucks.
It was cap raise or like elements that I don't have cap raise for, which is awesome.
Yeah,
That is
that
true.
part's cool.
Yeah.
Even at
I
level
remember being
1,
hyped for it.
even at level 1, I am very much enjoying my immediate
I
skill
never use
stocks.
it. I literally never used it before
I
level 1.
literally use it now. Okay,
Nice.
tweakers, we can't all have level 10 Gorgie Luke. Okay,
I'm just saying.
so
man.
in the
Buddha?
meantime, Council of 10's
Actually,
been
the three of us
wonderful. Well,
You can't.
unfortunately, without me, it can't be everyone. So
True.
I'm going to have to also disprove you because I had Council of 10 at arc skill level 10 on day 1
Yes.
Mhm.
because I loved it that much.
Uh-huh.
okay, I'm gonna go back and
Just
listen to the podcast. We'll
Go
revisit
go
this.
back and listen.
We will. We will.
Don't listen to what I said, but
I distinctly remember.
I'm pretty sure I was shitting on it because I didn't want to put any UR dust in it.
I
Just
see.
FYI.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was definitely before it hit level 10.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, this is amazing.
Mhm.
But I got it to level 10 because I saw the potential at level 10. And I was like, I've loved it ever since. Like, I do not regret putting the dust into that.
So the main reason I didn't like it before is because because you still have to use it, and you only get those stocks for that wave, right? If you use it at the beginning, those stocks don't persist at all.
Right.
Which I hate
right.
about
I
it.
get that.
But the main thing that I didn't like about it was even if I still had part way of the stocks filled, to get it full and to maximize the use that skill stocks, I have to still use Honey Elixir.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're
But-
telling me I still got to do it to get full stocks? Like, come on, man.
I mean, I can see your point. It just works so well in my little botched strategy for this specific event that it
Absolutely.
makes me appreciate it because that's exactly what I do. I pop it, I get a ton of stocks. Yeah, I don't get quite my max stocks, but then when I do WAP with XBet, I now have +1 on everything. So
Right.
then it's just damage all over the place.
And if you're planning to use it again, yes.
Mhm.
But once you do get that thing to level 10, you get those max skill stocks off the rip.
Oh, I know
Um,
that. Yeah, for sure.
Ooh,
So good.
and I should also mention to you, Buddha, level 9 gets you max skill stocks. Level 10 is the one that it changes. You get everyone else in the party gets +1 stock to
Like,
them.
I'm struggling because I don't have Gwar. Like, I think I've got 6 UR dusts, so I'm getting close. 2 more, and I could give it to Council, which is something I have and could start using, or I feel like the smartest play is to literally just hoard it, because
so
I don't
here's
know.
the thing. Council of 10 is going to be best for people who do not have Honey Elixir and who do not have WAP.
Well,
Because
that's not me.
for most content, you're not going to be using those more than once. And so all 3 of those fill the same role, right? Council of 10 is available right now. Well, sometimes. The other 2 are not. We don't know if the other 2 will ever be available again. We don't know if we're going to have skills comparable again. But if you get Council of 10, you can invest in that and know that you're still going to have almost the same capabilities as someone who has Honey Elixir or has WAP. Maybe in like really long, hard fights, you're not going to be able to use it as much, but for most content, you're not really going to be using it more than once anyway.
Well,
So if
I
you
can
have
see
one
that.
of those, I don't think I would recommend using dusts on Council of 10 unless you have, dust out the ass.
I would also suggest, and I know it's not that huge of a difference, the difference between a Council of 10 user and a Honey Elixir user, especially for solo units, that unit, number 1, is going to be at full MP whenever you get those max stocks, which allows you in certain scenarios, which, I mean, with your first amount of skill stocks, you're able to use Sharp Eyes still, and still have solid damage boost, because that arc doesn't give any damage boost at all. But it allows you to still use some damage boosters that would normally cost MP that you'd be at 0 MP for. Now, of course, you can circumvent this by using Honey Elixir over and over and over with Goddess Kiss over and over and over. I get it. But in certain scenarios where you're just going to be bursting, it's pretty OP.
Yeah,
And
no kidding.
on that note, Honey Elixir, WAP, Goddess Kiss, you're looking at 23, 24 SC.
Yep.
That's
0.
expensive. An arc is free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been loving it in Tower of Trials with the Pirate's Feast, right? Because I load in that first wave, you don't get nothing except if you have Council. So I get to pop that, get a bunch of stocks, finish wave 1, and then it's just smooth sailing.
You could just use Roy. What do you mean?
Hey,
Could I though? Come on, Tweaks. Why are you torturing me?
Come on, Wax.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I hit a string.
Now you can use Levi, actually. That
I
should
can.
work out pretty well.
Unfortunately, Levi doesn't have alchemy, so it's tough.
Correct. But he has Quick Trigger, and Pose of Glory is really easy to get. So,
Russian roulette, baby.
yeah. I mean,
it doesn't
all
really
of
matter
the
what
skills are
skill it
gap. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one you get. It's a gap closer, and it should kill most enemies pretty quickly.
Listen, the S1 and the S2, they don't have a big AoE, bro.
you only have to kill one thing.
No, they're medium area.
you only need to kill like one thing, maybe 2.
I don't think Pose of Glory works as well as you guys are thinking.
What?
Actively doing that right now. I don't know.
Just saying. It's not I get the argument, but it's not comparable to having a Roy S3 whenever the fuck.
Of course
you want.
not.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it is.
Well,
I'm saying
that's
you
what
don't have
that's the
Roy,
argument I'm
you
making.
have Levi.
You can't really compare Roy to like anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's
Roy
in
was
his
a
own
mistake.
little. He's in his own little field by himself, rejoicing, frolicking around,
Roy is
destroying
one of my
waves.
favorite
Like
characters,
he's fine.
but he was absolutely a mistake.
Yeah. He's very close to the level of Trishula, just in terms of game breaking.
See, imagine if like they made Roy, but they just didn't give him the S3 that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Would we still say he's game breaking? I don't think so.
Probably
Do
not.
you think so?
No.
Do you say Ed is
No.
game breaking?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, Ed's pretty good.
Ed's
The only
damn
reason
He's pretty
Ed is
good.
not considered incredibly good is because of how good Roy is.
Well, yeah, and Ed is convenient, right? Alchemy is convenient. When you stack alchemy on top of Roy's S3, that's what becomes nuclear.
100%. And that's why Al is still pretty bad.
Uppercutting people into space with Ed is pretty satisfying, though.
Fair point. All
But
right.
he's also got that, alchemy thing going for him. So
Yeah. No, I mean, alchemy as a feature is just incredible. So there's no refuting that.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Baconator wants to know when you're gonna do the story, like narrate the story.
Me?
He likes your voice. Yeah.
Oh, well, that'll be next story update. It's during
We
live
need you
streams.
to do from like chapter 1 all the way till now. Record it and put it on YouTube for us.
Oh, well, I'm going to need that check from Barlene real quick.
Yo, didn't you hear you work for ICE now?
Oh, that's right.
That random guy in the
Barlene.
comments was like, "What would you expect from somebody who works
Yes.
for ITIS?"
Barlene, my colleague. Hello.
My colleague, coworker,
That's right.
friend, office cat.
I'm dead.
Oh,
You gotta
good
give everyone
times.
their own voice too.
I know, right? Even the female voices, I got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I saw your Pokemon playthrough. You got no problem doing it.
Oh no, bro.
Oh no, dude! You had to bring it back.
Oh
I
no.
miss
We
it so
have
much.
records. We have
Dang.
receipts.
I miss it so much. You don't understand.
I
Are
just-
you gonna play Arceus? Not
I
obviously
don't-
not on stream or whatever, but like
Yeah, I don't plan on it. I don't
It
plan
It seems
on
fun.
it. It's
not going to.
different. It's different, but that I was just in it for the nostalgia. I fell off Pokemon after X and Y, bro. But
Oh,
anyway,
for sure.
you know.
absolutely. And you know what else is this month is Elden Ring.
Oh,
so,
I
anyway,
know.
Anyway.
I have
Anyway,
Karatsume
Just
in my
casual.
Discord just every single day. He puts
Oh,
it
I
on
can't wait.
blast. So,
Oh, I can't wait.
mhm.
It's gonna be so
It'll be a good time. I think I have to buy it and at least do one like nice long live stream playing it, even if I never touch it again. I think just because of how big it is, and I think
for sure.
plenty
what-
of people would enjoy watching it.
What system are you gonna play on?
I'll do PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will try and get it on PC as well. I was gonna get it on PS5, but if you're
Hey.
getting it on PC, I will get it on PC and we can try and play.
Well, don't do it just for me, just because I don't.
No.
Okay.
It was a toss up anyway, and
Okay.
it really I should get it on my computer. Like my
Okay.
computer, even though it's a couple years old, is still nicer than my PS5.
Crazy how it works like that. Just
Yeah, it's fine.
PC over everything. So
But yeah, no, we should get down on some. We could do a co-op stream. Anyway,
that
that's
would
not for
be
this.
amazing. We'll figure out those details, guys. I think it's a good place to wrap up this POWERCREEP podcast. It was a fun one. Had Barlene
Was
in
it?
the chat. That was dope. We threw some shots at each other, right? Like a nice little family feud. It was a good time.
It's like every good reunion.
every good reunion, right? There's got to be some mashed potatoes going across the table. So
Yeah.
No, you eat the mashed potatoes. I'm throwing the gravy at you.
Demos is throwing the
I've got some
gravy
gravy.
at Tweaks, telling him to just shut up because he sucks at Last Cloudia. You know,
No,
It's
I said I sucked.
it's
Dude,
just a
don't.
familial
give
gathering
him
we
that.
have here. It's
Yeah.
really a nice family.
It's like four brothers.
Got the can of cranberries.
Oh, God.
God, cranberries are fucking gross.
Fling them
Like-
with a spoon.
Like I said at the beginning, be sure to now go check episode 1 just to compare both of these podcasts.
We were so young and optimistic.
Ugh. Good times.
Buddha way.
That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. But on that note, guys, thank you all for listening in. We always appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you to my co-hosts for throwing your boy Buddha in the backpack and hauling us through this adventure at Last Cloudia. We'll see what updates are to come after this collab. Right, I imagine the hype's gonna die down. We have Valentine's celebration, which they did last year. I imagine returning very soon. So imagine another POWERCREEP podcast. Maybe next week, might be every other week as we've been doing, but you guys will obviously see as time goes on. But I think that's all we got for you this time, guys. Like, subscribe, bell notification if you want to actually participate in the chat during these podcasts. And with all that being said, guys, y'all know what we say.